Hello, everyone. Here's your Eastern Idaho weather and planning briefing for Sunday, January 12th. And you know what? We've been talking about snow and wind, and it's not really ending anytime soon. We're seeing another slight uptick in snow across the entire area today. A bigger uptick comes with that storm tonight into tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow night into Tuesday morning. In between storms, where we see a lull in the lower elevations, it's going to be continuously snowing up in some of our mountain locations. With the wind coming through and continuing to come through, blowing and drifting is expected through the early part of this week. The question is, do we have more storms coming later in the week? And the answer is we have at least one coming after Tuesday. Here's a loop. You can see our latest push of moisture coming into eastern Idaho as the train of storms continues to come in off the Pacific and northwest flow right across the state. How are things going to be looking for today weather-wise? We already have one little push of snow coming through already this morning. As we go through the day, we might see a little bit of a break, but don't be surprised as some snow showers develop in between here. But as we go in the afternoon, a little more snow, especially the central mountains right across the Magic Valley into the Snake Plain into the eastern highlands as well. Going through tonight, we see that snow continuing, and you see a couple of bigger bands coming through. That's the storm, that next surge coming through. It actually looks like it's going to clear the central mountains after midnight with some lingering snow there. This main push clears after midnight, at least the Snake Plain, with some snow continuing in some areas. But it does look like even when it stops snowing, there's going to be some wind and some blowing, drifting issues across a good chunk of eastern Idaho. As we go into Monday, a little more snow, maybe a little less than we've seen. But as we go into tomorrow and tomorrow night, here comes the next storm. And this still looks like this may be a little better chance farther south than we've seen with the past couple of storms coming through. But as you can see, the train of moisture continuing as we go into Tuesday morning. So like I said, things really not letting up, at least until we get past that Tuesday time frame. And when that happens, things will be looking a little better, at least temporarily. Here's our weather impacts matrix, and you can see some quite a bit of impact, especially across portions of the Snake Plain today, and especially in the highlands. And you can see those impacts getting a little worse tomorrow and again on Tuesday across the area. Not much snow on Wednesday, but there's still a little bit of wind, especially in the mountains. So some lingering and blowing and drifting issues probably. Thursday, we do have a storm coming through later in the day into Thursday night, but this one may not have a lot of winds, so at least some impacts from snow expected with that. Here's our snow through the rest of the morning. Not much going on. Maybe a few spots with some higher amounts, especially in the upslope areas up towards Island Park and also into the Sawtooth as well. There are those wind gusts. They'll be picking up again, especially once the sun comes up this morning and we're in between these little bitty waves. So again, blowing and drifting, especially before it warms up across the area. This afternoon, late in the afternoon, that next surge is already moving into the central mountains, also portions of the Magic Valley and the Camas Prairie. Otherwise, not much going on except, again, up where we have continuous upslope around Island Park into the big holes as well. And there are the winds. They'll be picking back up again in the highlands. And still some lingering gusts across the Snake Plain into portions of the southeast highlands for this afternoon. There's that big push coming through, and we're going to have a good southerly wind. So this is one of those events. There's going to be a quick burst of snow even to the Wood River Valley, into the upper portions of the Magic Valley. Generally, the lava beds show northward into the lava beds towards craters of the moon. Not much going on elsewhere. Again, southwest flow upslope into the Island Park and Centennial Mountains. And there are those wind gusts. The southerly winds, just like we saw with the last couple of events, probably limiting the snow along the 84-86 corridor as we go into the overnight hours. You can see a little bit of that downslope right here. Maybe along the bench areas from around Pokey back down towards Burley might see over an inch of snow, but you can see by late tonight, tomorrow morning, definitely the heavier snow shifting into the south and the southeast and eastern highlands. There are the wind gusts coming in behind that push, so definitely windy. We're going to probably have to watch and see what happens, especially this is one of those events. It could be some pretty strong winds causing some blowing and drifting if you're heading into Montana overnight, later this evening into the overnight hours. Snow letting up a bit across the area for tomorrow morning. Still pretty breezy, so like I said, even with not much snow falling, we could have some blowing and drifting issues in some areas, especially where the snow stays more powdery, where it stays cooler during this particular prolonged event. And again, a little bit of snow. We might see a little band of snow, some snow showers moving across the lava beds towards Pocatello on Blackfoot and Idaho Falls tomorrow afternoon with continued winds. And then into tomorrow evening, the snow continues. Still looking at a little bit higher amounts in our upslope areas for tomorrow night, with the strong winds continuing. It's a broken record, folks. Just expect snow and wind to persist. We'll see that continuing. That's into Monday night, Tuesday morning, as we start to see the next push moving into the area as well. There's that downslope signature again along the 84-86 corridor. By the time we get into Tuesday, most of the highlands seeing their higher amounts of snowfall throughout the day. The Sawtooth, the southeast, and the eastern highlands still getting downslope from Pocatello back to the west, but otherwise the Snake Plain in some areas seeing another 1 to 2 inches of snow. And those strong winds during the day, they actually are going to get stronger behind our wave as we go into Tuesday afternoon. So again, things continuing all the way through the early part of the week. And like we said, the next storm, we get a little bit of a break. We still have some mountain snow Wednesday. Our next storm comes in later Thursday into Thursday night for a little better chance of snow and some wind over all of central and eastern Idaho. If you have any questions, give us a call. Otherwise, have a great day, and do be safe out there, folks.